Parenting couples can become especially stressed out during the summer months, juggling school, being out and working full time. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, the co-founders of Couples Counseling for Parents, Aaron and Stephen Mitchell, join us now to share tips for the invisible load of summer parenting. It's the invisible load that's not so invisible because there's 3 of them in my living room.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So true.
It's like the second it's like you're excited about summer, but you dread the last day of school.
Absolutely.
So how do you tackle that at the start of the summer?
Well, I think one of the things that first needs to happen is couples have to communicate about what the plan is. And I think a lot of times that's where things start falling apart. And that's where parents can start getting in conflict and feeling stressed out, is they're like, one parent might feel like they're the one who has to bear that load of planning and coordinating, and the other partner kind of just like, oh, what's going on? Tell me how I can help, but they're not invested in it.
The least
So-
helpful words ever. Tell me how to help.
Right.
Yeah, and
Do
so.
a little more work.
On the front end. Yeah.
Right. And so I think one of the things is really just helping couples know how to communicate about what are we doing and getting them on the same page.
And you guys have a combined 23 years of experience providing education, providing counseling. So you've talked to many couples about this. Is that the biggest problem and issue, just the communication?
I think it's stress, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is stress, but stress is communication.
Yes.
So you're wanting to be a team, you're wanting to have fun. Like, everyone's so excited, you want to give your kids the best summer, it's supposed to be magical, and then very suddenly it doesn't feel magical. And so I think stress probably is the primary, but stress really messes everything
Right,
up.
when you have 2 stressed partners communicating, you have stress communication, and so there can also, then you
It's
start
gonna be
blaming,
great.
like,
We're gonna have so much fun.
yeah, you're like, well, I thought you were doing pickup. Well, no, I thought you were doing it. Well, you know, you don't even know what the kids are doing. Like, it begins to get conflicted, and that can be where the issues
Okay, so
come in.
what are some tips for folks to have the right conversations? Because one person may feel like they have bearing the brunt of like the kids, but then the
Right.
other person might feel like they have the brunt of the rest of the lives.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
That's exactly right.
So we have a little formula.
Okay.
We think that, first of all, couples need to think about making a plan for the equitable distribution of what are we doing with the kids in terms of camps, in terms of childcare, in terms of who's picking up, who's dropping off, who's making lunches, who's doing what.
Who's coordinating the different outfits for the different camps?
Right.
Oh,
so
This week it's next week it's tie-dye.
Yes.
Yes. So you have to sit down and make a plan, and then you have to stick to the plan. And then you have to
That's where I
have
struggle.
a conversation about, are there changes that we need to make to the plan? And then you also need to celebrate the successes about, like, this is working. This is going really, really well. Let's
That's
keep
the
doing
second
this.
place where I struggle.
It's
going well.
Right. And then you have to reassess that plan on a regular basis. And I think in summer you need to do that each week.
Yeah.
And I think if couples can do that, they're going to feel united, they're going to feel together, and also when parents feel connected, like, kids feel really comfortable and they feel like they are having that summer that they want. They are feeling like home feels good.
Okay.
I feel like the biggest issue is that summers are not made for working parents.
No,
Correct.
right.
And it's
Right.
so
Right.
impossible.
It's
and
expensive.
That's what, yes, and
It's
it's just
so expensive.
It's
Yes.
expensive. It's hard. Like, there's no after camp care. There's no. Whereas during the school day, you may have that. There's just loads and loads of things. So then that's when we're talking about the stressors and everything that just starts to add up.
Absolutely. And some of these camps and activities started months ago.
Yeah.
I know if you don't schedule these things in March, you miss it. You're out.
Right.
My
Or
husband
maybe
and I got in
January.
a fight in January. I missed the sign up. So that should be on our list next year.
Yes.
Who's going to sign up in January?
That's exactly
Put a
right.
reminder in your calendar, right?
In the
both put it
winter,
in.
plan for summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I also think the validation piece goes a really long way in good communication, because I know a big part of these things is we work really hard to make sure our kids do have a great summer. We
Right.
think about, like, oh, this kid really likes theater, this kid's into art, this one's into soccer, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just, we think about that. It's not just the task of, like, I dropped them off, they made it.
Yes.
It's, I hope they're having a good time, and I would like for you to know that I've spent a lot of time thinking about that. That
Yeah.
goes a long way too.
Because usually there's one partner who is in charge of all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that validation piece is so I'm just going to be honest, Aaron's in charge of that. and I haven't thought about those things. And so it's really important for me to be like, hey, I recognize, like, you started thinking about this and working on this in January, and I wasn't clued in, I didn't ask, I didn't pay attention. So I do want to acknowledge, like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like you did this.
Crazy
so
how a little
huge.
thank
A
you
little
can
bit
go
goes a
a lot.
long
Like
way.
that's
Yeah.
all it takes, men and women and whoever.
And also, you got to add in there is sometimes if the kids are home, because these camps are expensive.
Absolutely.
The stress of just the kids, if they're especially younger ones,
Right.
that adds to the load of then having conversations, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kids are not always gone.
No.
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 Yeah. And that's
Right.
the same thing. We want our kids to see us communicating well. We want them to be around and not feel like a burden. We want to feel like you aren't making this harder. You're actually with me. We're partners in this, not
Yeah.
just I'm in charge. I always say the president of parenting, and Stephen's like my vice president.
I
He
love
didn't
that.
ask for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really important to me. Our kids get to see too. Like
Yes.
we're working well together. We're glad you're here.
Right.
But that doesn't really go well if I'm very stressed
Out.
Yes.
Well, and part of
Just
that
ask
is
my kids.
the part of that is in the plan. So if you know in the plan, like, hey, these are the days where the kids aren't going to be at camp or aren't going to be, out of the house, they're going to be here. You plan for that as well. So what
Right.
are we going to do? Because oftentimes a lot of parents are both working.
Yeah, both is
And,
yes.
and so how are we going to handle that? And even just acknowledging the challenge and the difficulty of that, again, goes a long way in terms of validation and then trying to make a plan.
And you address all this in your book too, correct?
We do.
We
Okay.
do, yeah. So we wrote a book called Too Tired to Fight. It's the 13.
So true.
Yes, aren't we?
I don't have it in me tonight. Let's talk about it tomorrow.
That's right.
That's right.
And these are the 13 essential conflicts that parents must have to keep their relationship strong. And so actually chapter 7 is specifically about this invisible load, mental load of parenting. And so we really are desiring to help couples be close as they parent because we think that a connected couple is the best thing
Yeah,
for kids.
happy parents, happy kids for sure.
That's right.
Aaron and Stephen, thank you both for being here. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you so
for
much.
inviting us.
Good advice, yeah.